Hey there. Today I'm going to go over a few tips and tricks on how to prepare your legs for the demands of any types of special operations training, whether it be the Air Force, Special Warfare, BUDS, the Army, Special Forces. You're going to need to build up a solid running base, and I'm going to kind of go over how to do that. I know that the Air Force and the Navy both put out warning orders in the past, and they talked about 30 miles a week of running, and it basically built you up to a running base of that number. But I was a guy that was prone to stress fractures, and I had a few of those and some shin splints. I did try those types of programs, and they were okay. They did build you up rather quickly, and that was the point of it, to get you in shape quickly to ship you off. But I'm going to go over some tips that I've learned from running distance that will help ease the pain of building up to that number, because 30 miles a week is rather large for the normal person, and getting there can be painful. You don't need to go any more than 30 miles per week for this type of training. I think that that's proven that number will help you prevent injury and overuse injuries and stuff like that. So I'm going to give a few tips and tricks and give you a plan, kind of teach you how to build a plan yourself, so you can be flexible with it and be successful when you enter these training programs. I'd invite everybody to visit everydayspecialops.blogspot.com. I go over this topic and a whole lot more of the other topics I go over on these videos, to where you can read, and I go more in depth a little bit on kind of how to understand what I'm saying. I'm not the best at talking on camera, but I try to get this information out there in a number of ways so people can find it. I want to stress the main goal you want when you're preparing yourself for running is to prepare your legs for the long training program you're entering. It's important to pass the 1.5 mile run, or whatever run you have to pass to get in. And a long time ago, when I was 18 years old, I thought I wanted to go try BUDS. And what I did was I built up my running too quickly. I kind of followed the warning order and stuff like that, but I ended up getting stress fractures, and they turned in. Actually, I got shin splints first. They developed into stress fractures. And once you get one of those injuries, you're pretty much done. You can run through the stress fractures, but you can run through the shin splints. They're painful, but you kind of warm up and they're okay. But you keep pushing, and you keep pushing your legs to go further, you're going to develop hairline cracks in your shin bone. And at that point, no matter how many ibuprofen pills you pop, believe me, I tried it. It doesn't matter. You're going to be on crutches and out for a good while. So we want to prevent that. And a way to do it, there's two things I want you to keep in mind. There's the 10% rule, building up your mileage 10% every week, and step down weeks. If you incorporate those, now you can do 10% only and not do the step down weeks, or you can just do step down weeks. The BUDS warning order and the Air Force warning order didn't do any step down weeks, and I believe they kind of built you up around 10% or maybe a little more. It was pretty aggressive, but it's generally well respected and known that 10% is a very conservative number, and you should be fine building up a base of running using that 10% rule. But I go even further and add a step down week, because it gives you time to heal up and your legs to adjust to the base that you're building. So those are very important things to keep in mind as well, and just kind of some understanding of where I'm going with this video. Also, your daily runs need to be no more than 6 miles, and I wouldn't throw in 6-mile runs until you're up to like 20 miles a week or more. You really don't need them to get to your mileage goals for the week. You can go anywhere from 2 miles when you're first starting out, and up to 4, when you're into the 10 to 14, 15 mile range. And you can sprinkle in 5-mile runs, 3-mile runs, just to get to your number. And when you're getting up in the numbers in mileage, let's say 20 miles a week, you're going to be wanting to run 5 days a week. That will give you 2 days off of your legs to recover, and you're not running too far on the other days. So speed is important in these training programs. It's very important. But as you build up a larger base, your speed will naturally increase. You have marathon runners that run 120 miles per week for a 26.2 mile race. You have 5K runners that run up to 90 miles per week. And that large base enables them to just fly through these races. Now, it's important to run very, very slow when you're building your base. So all your runs, The running part, building up your base, should be one of the most enjoyable parts of your training because you're basically running slow enough to hold a conversation with a running partner. You never want to really exceed that. You don't want to push too hard, and later the speed will come. And once you get up to 30 miles per week, you can incorporate interval training or just maybe trying to run 1.5 miles on a 6-mile run. One portion of that, just run all out and see how fast you can run it, and use the rest of it for recovery, or do it at the end. You can be creative with this. It doesn't really matter, but you can incorporate speed work once the base is up. All right, so you're running very slow on these runs, and force yourself to slow down. You can't run really too slow. You're just building up your legs for the demands of everything you're going to be doing. It's going to help on your runs. You're running everywhere in these training programs all the time, and once you start to get these shin splints, they're not going to go away. You're not going to have any time off. So you want to do this before you start these programs. Also, your running cadence. If you can try something that really helped me when I was trying to run far is try to get to 180 steps per minute. It's as simple as taking a stopwatch out and as you're running, and see how many times you're hitting the ground with your feet. You can count 1 foot and double it, when you're doing this. So it's not hard to count that. And I found I was running about 150 steps per minute, and it made my stride longer, and I was hitting the ground kind of funny. So when you shorten your stride up and hit more strides per minute, you're going to shorten your stride up, and you're going to be landing underneath you and landing properly, and you're going to reduce those aches and pains that come with running larger distances. Also, go ahead and get a good pair of running shoes. You can go to a running store and have them fit your foot for the proper shoe. So if you have flat feet, high arches, or have a weird running gait, that's not a deal breaker, and you can still be a runner. Guys run with flat feet all the time. Most of the guys I knew that said they hated running had flat feet, and they just had a shoe, whatever shoe they threw on their foot. So I was fitted for a shoe when I began the Air Force training, and it was a pair of Asics, and I still wear that same exact shoe to this day. I'm 41, and once I developed a proper running base, I've never experienced any kind of overuse injury, and as long as I didn't go up too far if I want to increase my mileage. So I did it kind of the way I'm explaining in this video. All right, one more thing before I get into building up the base. When you're running, make sure you're relaxed, and you want to be focusing on working nothing but your legs and your lungs. And when you do that, you'll develop a natural arm swing when you're running. So you don't want to be stressed or tense. It's going to, you want the blood flow going to your legs, and you want to be relaxed. Once you get your cadence down and these slow runs down, these runs should be fairly enjoyable. You'll probably feel good after them because you're not going into anaerobic or anything like that. You're just doing some aerobic training. And I'm going to give some examples of how to build up that running base slowly and properly. So if you've never run before or haven't been on a consistent running plan, you can start as low as 6 miles in a week and just run 3 days, 2, 4, 6. You want to start low and just be honest about it. If you think you've been running 15 miles consistently in a week, you can start there, but just know that if you kind of overestimate and you start building up, you may run into some issues. You may start to feel some soreness in your legs, and need to pay attention to that. But you can always step it back down. This is a one-time thing if you do it and keep it up. So go back down and to where you feel comfortable. So you can start at 6 miles a week. You can even go up to 8 to 10 if you think you've been kind of running here and there. But you want to start at around 6 miles per week. And so an example I give on the article I wrote is 10 miles a week. So let's say you want to start there, and you're going to do your weekly mileage. Set it up however you want. At 10 miles, you could probably do 3 or 4 days. You could do 4 days if you'd like, and then do these 2 3-mile runs. And it doesn't really matter what days you place what mileage or what days you choose to run. It just matters that you get the runs in and get the consistent mileage in. All right, so you do the 10 miles that 1 week. So the next week you want to increase your mileage by 10%, which when you're lower in the numbers, it's going to be 1. And what I did for the sake of simplicity and not dragging out things too long, it was if I was below 1.5 miles, I just kind of rounded down to 1. And if I was above 1.5, I rounded up to 2. But you can be exact. There's nothing wrong with that, and you cannot go wrong there. But if you're feeling good and let's say you go up 2 miles the 1 week when you're at 1.6, 1.5, and you're feeling a little bit like it's too much, just stick with the 10% rule, and I don't think you can go wrong. But if you'd like to round those numbers like I did, that's perfectly fine, I think. I'm not a running expert, but just kind of feel out your body on that. All right, so the next week you're going to increase your mileage again by by 10%. So you're going to do these in like monthly cycles. So every 4 weeks you're going to cycle these step downs. So the first, second, and third week you're going up 10%, and on the fourth week you're going to drop that mileage back down to where you started that month. So let's say you started at 10, and you're going to drop it back down to 10 miles on that fourth week. And then when you do the fifth week, the following month, you're going to increase your mileage from the peak you reached during that month. So let's say you got up to 11, 12, 10, 11, 12. So you're going to go up to 13 on the fifth week. So 13 miles, and then you're going to increase. And on that fourth week, you're going to drop down to where you started that month. So you're going to drop it back down to 13 when you do that fourth week. So do these drop downs. So continue this on until you reach your target mileage. 30 to 35 miles is absolutely really good for this type of training. And once you get up to 30 miles, you can make it simple and do 6 miles 5 times a week and keep it there. And once you get there, if you want to increase a little bit, you can. It doesn't hurt to have more of a running base, but I don't think you really need to. And then that's when you can start incorporating your speed work. Start trying to run 1.5 miles while you're doing these runs at a really, really good pace in the middle of these runs. That will increase your speed a lot. And that running base behind you will further increase your speed. So if you'd like to go to everydayspecialops.blogspot.com, you can click on that running post on there, and I'll try to link it in this video. But I give an example of starting out at 10 miles per week so you can kind of see it. But I think I can explain it on this video okay. But if you do this, and it's going to safely build you up, and you do want that running base when you get started, because the game is not, part of the game is getting in and doing a quick 1.5 mile run, and the 3 mile runs that later happen in the Air Force, you want to do good times on those. But those will be a lot better if you have that running base. And you won't have to worry about these overuse injuries that so many people develop in the middle of these training things, and it just sets them back. You get a stress fracture, you're going to be set back for a while. It's like a broken bone. So you're going to be off your leg for a while. So you want to make sure and not worry about the running portions or, the activities you're doing. This helps with all the activities, on the ruck marches and just any kind of strenuous activity. All right, so there you have it. You want to get up to 30 miles a week as a base. And from there, you want to build up, you want to incorporate some speed work. I'll go over that maybe in some future videos. But you want to work on the first thing, getting up your weekly miles at 30 miles. You want to do all your runs slow at a conversational pace. You want to target 180 steps per minute on your runs. And you want to get a good pair of running shoes, have them fitted for your foot. It'll be worth it if you need to. If you think you have some kind of issue with, if you don't have a normal foot, go ahead and get you fitted for a shoe. And just get out there and run. Get off the YouTube videos and start hitting the pavement. You can hit the trails, the sidewalks, you can get out on the streets and get out there and build that base up. So I hope this helps. I hope this makes it a little better for people that want a flexible schedule to get prepared for the special operations training. And I'll see you guys again for another video. Appreciate it.